Hey, Rod, man, I got a question for you.
What you got?
How do we get better at Jiu Jitsu?
Just do more jiu-jitsu.
Okay, I got that. But, like, what else, man? What else can we do?
Just do more jiu-jitsu.
So, all right, I get it. But, like, what else?
Just do more jiu-jitsu.
Fine. This episode of Open Mat Chronicle, we're just doing more Jiu Jitsu.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Open Mat Chronicles. 1865 Rod here, coming back at you guys every week. And as always, we got Schaefer up in the house. What up, Schaefer?
What's up, everybody? Schaefer's in the house. Another episode of Open Mat Chronicle. I was about to say fun-filled episode, because they're all fun-filled episodes. Man, first of all, let me give a shout-out to Ms. Dolores, who pointed out that she was having some issues with our sound. I don't know if it's everybody or just her, but check it out, Dolores. We're actually going to raise the audio on this one. Hopefully, we won't blow out anybody's eardrums.
We hear you, Dolores. We hear your cries of affliction.
Hell yeah.
And we are addressing them.
For sure. And quite honestly, that goes out to everybody, right? We appreciate everyone's feedback. I mean, we read the comments. We try to get back to them as quickly as possible. We're not so big time that we don't respond to people or that we don't take suggestions, you know? We say,
comments very, very valuable. We appreciate it.
We check our ego at the door.
That's
we make sure that we are still willing to learn and expand and try new things.
Facts.
Check it out. So, Rod, I just got back from freaking Seattle. It was cool. I'd never been there before. It's not like a super hippie town or anything, but it's a little weird. But it's cool.
Home of the grunge bands.
Clean, dude. Yeah, home of the grunge band, right? And I was talking to like it was a waiter or whatever. He was like, "Oh yeah, you know." I was like, "What's Seattle known for?" He's like, "Oh yeah, man, like Nirvana and all them." And
yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." Anyway, way off subject, but I just wanted to say I did something. I had some fun. It's because my kid had this little field trip. It was pretty neat.
Nice.
Anyway, enough about my personal life. 1865 Rod, what were you up to this weekend?
Man, this weekend it was terrible. It was cold. It was nasty. It was raining. It should have been Seattle weather, basically.
Right.
But I was watching some TV. You know, I didn't do a whole lot, but I was watching some old Rocky movie, right?
Okay.
And I did a couple of Rocky movies, you know, but I noticed a certain theme.
What's that?
Okay, so whenever Rocky was ready to actually go into his big fight, he was going to fight Mr. T, Apollo Creed, Drago. There was a huge segment of the movie that was strictly dedicated to him just training.
Like the montage, the training montage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the training montage. And it got me thinking, I'm like, you know what it didn't show? It wasn't showing him doing, I mean, there's a little bit of him boxing, but not as much. It was mainly him doing physical things to get his body in tip-top condition. Cardio. Maybe he had a log on his
right.
in the snow.
Or no, when he's punching the meat and stuff. But I know what you mean.
So, I mean, he did a little bit of boxing stuff, but a lot of it was physicality, right? Getting stronger.
Training.
Yeah, so I started thinking, I'm like, man, it's like the old adage where they say if you want to get better at jiu-jitsu, just do more jiu-jitsu, just do more and more. Bro, how many people really train like that? Like at today's level, I don't think you can, and I wouldn't advise just doing more jiu-jitsu because
I agree.
You got to supplement it with something, in my opinion. Now, there are anomalies out there, of course,
right?
And I'm not saying this is a blanket statement that everybody has to do. I'm
No.
not saying that at all. Like there's guys that don't even work out, and they're gonna mush me, right? They're really good, right?
Facts.
I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is if you wanted to improve, if you're cool with where you are, great.
Right.
But if you wanted to actually even up your game even more, then if you added that extra component in that improves that physicality, I think it would make you even tougher opponent.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, we know people who directly say, "Oh, just do more jiu-jitsu." Hell, Marcelo Garcia used to basically say, "Just do more jiu-jitsu," and he was phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
But you make a good point, right? Like, if you're really, really good at jiu-jitsu and you don't work out and get stronger, imagine how much better you'd be at jiu-jitsu if you were stronger too, right?
Yeah.
Or if your cardio is better, or if whatever. Like, yeah, dude, I'm going to agree with you totally here. If you want to get better, you probably need to add in some other stuff, right?
I would think. Some people don't need to though. Like there could be a guy who's he's pretty big dude, he's pretty strong.
Right.
He can handle most people. Maybe this doesn't apply to that guy, right? He's good, and he's not doing some major competitions and all that. He's fine, and maybe he's in good shape too, right? Carrying a little bit extra weight, it doesn't matter. You could still be in really good shape carrying a few extra pounds. That's not That's not a reflection of your condition. Just because you have a few extra pounds in it means nothing. But what I'm saying is, it's if that guy wanted to get even better, or if he
Right.
started competing, then it would maybe apply to him. But as it sits now, maybe not so much.
For sure. Dude, all right. I know
That's a long way of
we
saying
always
that.
go to our boy Trevor, right? But like, think about this, right?
Great example.
Trevor is super duper strong, super duper fit, just in general. Like he's a freaking really, really athletic guy. And
He'd be Batman if there was a Batman.
really. And he's also really good at jiu-jitsu though.
Yeah.
But what if okay, let's go
what
into the
if?
Marvel
Let's
what
do
if
what if,
world,
yeah.
right? What if he didn't ever work out? What if he was not the Trevor
That
physically,
we know now?
but he was just really good at jiu-jitsu? And if you compared the two, who would win the fight?
So you're saying a Trevor that never worked out at all,
Right?
but just did jujitsu,
Uh-huh.
right? Versus this version of Trevor.
Yeah.
This version's mauling him. I still think, I still think so.
All right.
I think. What do you
I think? You're right. I think
think
you're
so.
right. And you know what? I would venture to say, take anybody we can think of, and let's just go, a comparison to the person that they are to the hypothetical person, right?
Yeah.
If you've got somebody who's really, really good in jiu-jitsu and, 145, 150 pound guy, doesn't do any kind of strength training, doesn't do anything but jiu-jitsu. If you took that same guy and he dedicated a third of that amount of time, I'm not saying he doesn't do the jiu-jitsu. He's doing the jiu-jitsu, but then he even a quarter of the amount of time he puts into jiu-jitsu, he puts into getting stronger and faster and eating right and taking out drinking, and he doesn't smoke. He doesn't smoke weed. He doesn't do any of those things. Like optimal health. That's what he does, right? He's shooting for optimal health and all this jiu-jitsu he does. Wouldn't it just stand to reason that that guy would beat this other guy? Maybe I'm crazy.
I would think. It's interesting. Like I think Gus may not agree with me on this one. Gus is always shout out to Gus. He's an anomaly too, though. But he's more like natural. But he does work out. But he does like calisthenics, things that don't require weights. But check this out. That would be a scary thing. Imagine a jacked Gus.
Yeah, dude.
Think of Gus like 20 pounds heavier with just solid muscle. Like, bro, he'd be just mauling everybody.
For sure.
That would be horrible.
I guess. Or let me play devil's advocate.
All right.
Or would it change the way that he fights because maybe the technique he wouldn't feel he needs to be as sharp, so maybe he doesn't fight to be as sharp. I mean,
I think I know what you're saying. I know what you're
right?
saying. No, that's actually valid. I think it would be better for him now because he knows all this. He's like a walking encyclopedia. He's got all those techniques at his disposal, right?
How about that?
Where if he didn't have those techniques, he might not have explored those if he was working out all these
Okay.
years. So for him, it's a win-win.
Gotcha.
Because he's already got the info. You know what I mean? Because like when I noticed that for me, when I lost weight recently,
Right.
I dropped down like 20 pounds. And I was able to do things I could never do before. I'm like, holy crap. And so now that I put that 20 pounds back on, I'm like, dude, I can still do those things, but I'm bigger and stronger.
You've reset your baseline
my
of
baseline.
skills. Right. So, okay, I like this. So let's say you're new to jiu-jitsu, you don't work out, right? You're couch potatoing it up, you've been chilling, you're smoking weed and drinking beer and doing all that, and you go, jiu-jitsu is about to change my life, right? So you jump in the mix and you train for a year or so. First of all, just off the bat, usually you end up losing a little bit of weight. You lose
a little bit
like
first.
that kind of shit just happens regardless, right? You're doing a little bit better, but you're just focusing on jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And you're learning the stuff and you're getting your skill set and you're good. You do a year or so, right? You can kick your ass from a year ago, hands
100%.
down.
100%.
No problem. Now you go, hey man, I did a couple competitions. I did this, I did that. I'm good. I'm going to add in some weight training, right? It would stand to reason that you're going to get even better. It's like you're just kicking it up.
So maybe that's the caveat right there. When you start jiu-jitsu, I wouldn't recommend doing weight training or other. Just do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Do jiu-jitsu,
Off the couch?
jiu-jitsu. Yeah, right off the couch. That'll get you conditioned. It'll do everything, right? I would do that for a couple years till you get your good kind of foundation in. You kind of have a little bit of a game, maybe blue belt level.
Okay.
Then I would start throwing in some ancillaries.
Yes. I can see that being good. Now, I can see the full court press being the way to go because you also get guys like what is it, Diani, dude. Like
Oh, he lost a
came
lot of weight.
in kind of off the
Yeah,
couch.
shout out to him, man. He lost
but
a lot of weight.
Facts.
He lost like
jumped
40-something
in.
pounds.
He's doing jiu-jitsu, instantly fell in love with jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
but he's doing other shit. And he's gotten in shape doing, like, working out as well, right? So
Yeah, I
that
think the
was-
jiu-jitsu is what got him down, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, now because he just started working out.
Oh.
Yeah, he said
Okay,
jiu-jitsu,
so he
but
kinda-
he's been eating right too, though. So he started jiu-jitsu and he cut his diet back,
Right.
or he modified his diet, and he lost a ton of weight. I think he lost like 40, 45 pounds. He lost a lot. Looks
See,
really good.
and-
Shout out to him, man.
dude, he's killing it, man.
And he's tough. He's really, really good competitor. And so now he's working out too. So I think he's doing it right. Because I think it might hurt you. Because here's the thing too: if you look at a lot of big jack guys,
Okay.
and they just start jujitsu, and they're kind of balancing weights, and it's not. I think it stifles your growth.
I think they actually, a lot of times, they lose some of their
think they-
jackness because
Oh, you will.
because they're like, I don't need to be this big, and
Yeah.
they start diverting that time to
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu. Usually, they'll get a little bit smaller for some
yeah.
guys.
Dude,
if,
no,
if you're already
100%.
big, a lot of times you find yourself.
I
a
was
little
like
bit
over
smaller.
200 pounds when I started. And I was all into working out,
Right.
and trying to be big and strong, and for me, that did kind of stifle my development because I was relying on a lot of strength
Uh-huh.
and all that. So yeah, 100%. So I would definitely say do jujitsu first.
So I'm already seeing right off the bat, there's no perfect freaking answer here. This is kicking me in the ass already because I'm
know.
like, okay, I'm sitting here talking this shit, and I'm like, wait a minute, dude, am I just really lost? But I don't think I'm lost. I just think that there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? But if we were to lay out that scenario, the perfect storm scenario for somebody, I think you're onto it where if you're fresh off the couch, right? You're just some. What is it? He's our accountant. He's our average 32-year-old accountant. Hasn't really done anything since high school. Maybe he just played in Dungeons and Dragons, never did anything. But maybe he played like lacrosse or pickleball or whatever the hell. And it's been years and he hasn't done shit. And then he comes back. Because you know who actually that fits that bill, believe it or not? Oleg. Oleg's like, oh, he did a little bit of stuff in school, but then he went 10 years to doing nothing.
Yeah.
He came back with a vengeance.
He
You know
said
what
he
I'm
was
saying?
still fit though. He was never out of shape.
He was never out of shape, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he might be an anomaly too. But let's say you're average everyday guy. He comes back. He hasn't done much. Jiu-jitsu is that baseline. Jiu-jitsu kind of, it's the switch.
Yeah.
Right? In your head, and you're like, okay, I like this. I could be better if I did what? So now you're going to get to one camp who goes, you could be better if you just do jiu-jitsu.
Do more jiu-jitsu.
Right? And then you're going to get guys like us. Nah, fuck that. You need to lift
But you know
some
what, man?
weights. You need
I don't
to-
know. This
you
might
need to jog.
this might go against my argument though. I'll tell you why. You know who might kind of rush or ruin my argument?
Who?
Halen. Because think about it. Look how good Halen is. Halen's really, really good. Shout out to Halen. And here's the thing. Halen was just actually, it's weird. He got bigger.
Yeah.
He was a little skinny little nerd
But
dude,
I
when he
think
started.
didn't
Halen
Halen
looks kind
add
of
in-
jacked lately, but I think he might work out now. I don't
Does
know.
some workout now.
But
I'm
it's
almost sure.
late into his purple belt. I don't think he was doing nothing but jiu-jitsu the whole
Yes.
time.
So
and he got
that's-
really good.
That's what we're saying. That baseline of, okay, I said a year or so.
Maybe
but
longer.
Maybe it takes
Maybe
several
longer.
years, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's several years in. And
I think
you're like,
now he's supplementing and he's adding some stuff in
because, and that might be a better argument. So now you're pretty damn good at jiu-jitsu.
now. Halen, put in the comments when you started
Help us
weight
out,
training. He's
right?
like, oh, I don't lift weights anymore.
He's
Liar.
like, I don't lift shit. I know, right? He makes a liar out of us. So maybe it is that get good at jiu-jitsu, right?
Get good at jiu-jitsu
And now
first.
that you're good at jiu-jitsu and you're in okay shape,
Yeah.
right? Now this is for the hobbyists,
Yeah.
okay? If you're doing competitions and shit like that,
That's
then
different.
you need to be focused from jump. You should be
need to do Rocky.
eating right. Yeah, you need to be Rocky in this
Get
shit
that
all
log, put it on
day.
your shoulder, walk and get some snow boots.
Hell yeah. Fucking go wrestle a bear or some
Yeah.
shit. So, okay, yes. Get pretty good. And then when you're like, oh, yeah, I'm kicking some ass, I'm tough. People are scared of me. Then if you do kick it in overdrive, because think about this, because then you still got those jokers. They drink, they smoke, they freaking, I don't know. I'm not saying they're smoking crack or anything, but they're they're not living the perfect lifestyle, right? If you're the guy and you're not living that great super clean lifestyle, you still go out and party. You're probably young because you can freaking snap back quickly.
Oh, yeah.
But let's say you're all those things. If you wanted to kick your game up and be, I'm about to say it, and be the best version of
my God, here we
yourself. If you want to be, the best jiu-jitsu you that you can be, right? you do have to start kind of probably cleaning out some of those other things. Now, they have an entire tournament that is based around freaking smoking weed and going out and fighting. So,
Really?
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome. It's probably a 10
It wasn't. Yes,
sponsored by Eddie Bravo.
I think it was. That was yeah, dude.
Okay.
Oh, high rollers.
Oh my God,
So
that's
there's
crazy.
a whole thing where everybody gets smoked out, then they go fight. So I'm not even saying the weed might be a thing, but here's what they don't have: fucking thick crust pizza jiu-jitsu. It's like you don't go out and gorge yourself and eat a whole bunch of shitty food and get drunk and then go jiu-jitsu. I mean, even though drunk jiu-jitsu has happened.
I participated in it many times.
Yeah, me too. But I know a lot of my jiu-jitsu, especially back at Hassett's, right? I'd hang out late with my buddies and all, drinking on a Friday night. Or actually, drinking on a Friday night. And then Saturday would be open mat. And dude, my open mat would be really to sweat out all the drinking and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you might start off, you're like, oh, this sucks. But then you burn it out. Next thing you know, we're sharp, right? So, but imagine if I had just never had the drinking going. If I never had the other stuff going, I think I'd be better.
You would be better.
I'd be better. Okay, look, I said I think to give myself a little bit of an out. Yes, I would be better.
No, my game really improved when I stopped drinking. But that's just a personal thing. But I just noticed
no, for sure. Same here. You know, that when I say I'm drinking these hard ketones, that's so fucking weird. But it's cool.
Is, Crystal Light. It's really good.
Crystal Light's the shit.
Crystal Light's pretty good, dude.
Hell yeah. Oh man,
I'm a little Costco
I don't know
fan.
how old anybody is. There was an old Crystal Light commercials. You know the jingle? No. Oh shit, dude. It goes like Crystal Light, and it goes yeah.
I don't remember
Oh,
that.
dude, I gotta find that fucking commercial. Anyway, Crystal Light is the bomb. I wonder if I could put that in.
Okay, now I can go one over. I can.
What you got?
Tang.
Tang is the
Remember
shit.
Tang?
I remember Tang.
That's like
Hell
70s,
yeah.
right?
That's
We
like
go, dude, no, was that the guy
that's
who busted the wall?
astronauts. The astronauts were drinking Tang.
Oh no, that was Kool-Aid when he busted through the wall.
Oh, that's Kool-Aid. With
That's
the wall.
Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So drink Kool-Aid and Tang and put some acai in that shit, and then you'll be like a jiu-jitsu powerhouse. So the clearest example of jiu-jitsu not being enough, let's keep it real. You get like the Andre Gavals, you get the freaking what's his name? Gordon Ryan and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like
at the highest level.
I remember I remember Gordon Ryan before he was like just jacked. And he was, remember they used to call him the Lion Killer.
Yeah.
Right? He was winning everything by rear naked choke. His jiu-jitsu was phenomenal. I think he's way better now. But what's the difference? He's strong as shit. He's freaking strong as shit.
Makes a difference.
Like it makes a difference, man.
Helps it more with your defense sometimes.
It helps more what?
With your defense.
Oh, yeah. Be able to fight some bullshit off.
Yeah.
Look, here you go. Big Trevor, right?
Or
you catch him in something, and he can legitimately just curl a grown man out of an
you can't.
armbar. Like,
It's gonna be hard to armbar.
how do you stop that?
Yeah.
How do you stop
Try
that?
Kimura and Trevor. It's gonna be so hard, dude. You can't Kimura Trevor.
Which is so
luck.
weird to me, right? Because I'm not a weak guy. I'll get some 2-on-1. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm about to do, and it just moves it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, are you kidding me? This is crazy. You can't do that just with jiu-jitsu.
But here's a weird thing, though. If you train jujitsu for long enough, then your body kind of adapts, and then you kind of don't get any more results physically anymore, right? Because your technique is getting so good that you don't really have to move around a lot. You're not really burning as many calories.
Yes.
So you kind of like it's kind of I don't know, like minimized, right?
Sometimes that's like a brown belt curse.
Yeah.
Like you've been training. This is where sometimes if you do lazy jujitsu, it'll bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, man, I've been training. I know my shit. I haven't been caught in years because everything's smooth. I know this. Plus now I'm comfortable. I eat some pizza and I can roll. I'm comfortable. Go have some beer and I'm going to roll. My technique still keeps everybody off me. I'm not afraid. But now I'm not working out. It's like, oh, shit. Did somebody shrink my gi? It's like, nah, motherfucker. They didn't shrink your gi. You got bigger because you're not really exerting yourself anymore. Yeah. The calories that you were burning, you don't need to because your technique really is sharp. That's not everybody, but that shit happens. Yeah. That shit happens. You get some brown belts who they're just like, I'm good. It almost like you ever see like those videos where you got these old they're like the guru guys, but they're fucking out of shape. They're
yeah,
fighting from their chair.
Yeah,
Like, dude,
yeah.
I've seen those guys where they just sit in a chair and they just freaking do their shit. Hell, even Steven Seagal, dude. Steven Seagal, love all Steven Seagal movies, but I think he did a movie, man, where he did almost the whole movie sitting on his ass.
I think I heard that.
Yo.
Okay, he is the personification of lazy man martial arts.
That shit was awesome. I think he was like playing a sniper or whatever, and he just did the whole movie sitting down. But I remember Mark for Death, Steven Seagal. He was on the move. Boom, he's running. He's flipping shit over. Man, it's awesome. So don't be like lazy armchair Steven Seagal. Be like Mark for Death, freaking Steven Seagal. Anywho.
Yeah.
That's a rant. We're probably going to get like a takedown notice from Steven Seagal. He's like, what the hell are you guys talking shit for? I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Yeah. Your Aikido is the shit. So work out.
Well, I mean, think about it. Think of Bruce Lee, going way back to even Bruce Lee. Like, a lot of his stuff was predicated on his fitness.
He was strong.
The majority of his stuff was fitness.
For sure. Dude, he was like always with the one-arm push-ups and like, there was this thing about him.
Actually, I got to shout him out, dude.
Who?
His Carl Gosselin. I saw him on Instagram. He did like a knuckle, one arm. It was legit. I was like, yo, dude, I didn't know Carl was that strong. That's pretty good, dude.
He's deceptively strong.
But he is strong.
Yeah.
See, I met Carl when I was a white belt, and he was smaller. Like, he was like a skinny guy back then. Then when I saw him recently, he's like got all jacked, broad shoulders. Like, oh, Carl, like him.
See,
man, now he filled
we're gonna
out.
have to like take a poll and figure out like some of these guys that we've known.
But they're
for
older
years.
now. I mean, that was a long time ago when I.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you fill out, man.
Think about the guys we've known. How many of them have added in like just a serious workout?
You got to do something. I mean, to do a one-hand knuckle push-up, he's doing something.
Dude,
you're not just doing.
You're not just doing
Even
that.
if it's
you're not doing
calisthenics.
that from fucking doing arm bars all day.
Now he may not be lifting a bunch of heavy weights and all that, but he's doing some type of fitness regimen.
For sure. Even if his body weight.
Even if his body weight is good
enough.
enough.
Something.
Yeah.
All right.
So you got to do something.
So what are we telling these people? I don't know. Do something.
Do something.
Do something. Or if you disagree, tell us why just jiu-jitsu gets it done. I mean, obviously it's going to be anecdotal, right? It's going to be, but that's cool. I'm interested in even people's anecdotal responses. It's like, hey, I don't work out and I'm fucking great at jiu-jitsu because blah, blah, blah. Tell me why. Like, tell me how.
So maybe that's why sometimes like some of the warm-ups that jiu-jitsu classes do are so intense. And I kind of have mixed feelings on that because sometimes it's like you're catering or you're making an assumption that nobody works out. So you're like, but in my opinion, it's like, I don't go there to work out. I work out. I have a gym membership.
Right.
I go there to roll, to learn jiu-jitsu. I'm not going to jiu-jitsu to do burpees, right? But I get it. On the flip side, the argument for it would be you're kind of forcing these guys to get in shape where they wouldn't do anything. So
I get
I kind of see both ways.
I do. I see both ways
too. I don't want to say it's bad, but I personally don't like it. But maybe I'm an outlier because like I do a lot of working out, so I don't want to participate in this because I've already done it. I feel bad when it's like all these hardcore warm-ups. Like, I ain't trying to do all that, man. I got to do deadlifts tomorrow. I'm not trying to do all that.
Yeah, seriously, right?
I just did like 4 or 5 yesterday. I came here to train now. I'm not trying to double.
train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But damn, you're right. What about those who just don't do shit and you're kind of forcing it to them?
You're forcing it on people.
But then isn't that admitting that you do need some kind of other strength? You need something else. Like, it can't just be jiu-jitsu. Like, if you're trying, I mean, the warm-ups are usually jiu-jitsu focused, right?
Jiu-jitsu related,
Right.
Yeah.
You're doing moves that like actually happen in a match, but it is building up strength. Like, if you're shrimping over and over and over, well, you're working out. Like, you're doing a workout. You're building your leg muscles. You're building your core. You're doing stuff.
Yeah, because I'm just going back to when I first started jiu-jitsu as a white belt. Like I said, I was bigger then. I was all into powerlifting. I was probably like 205.
Right.
And that's not like it's big, but for my height, it's what am I, 5'9", 5'8", 5'9". It's like, that's big for me, right?
Dig it.
So when I went in, the first thing we did was, the circle run, how every school does that. But that was weird to me. It's like I had never done that before. So I was like, I couldn't even do the full thing.
Right.
So here I was. I thought I was in good shape too, but I was gassed out. He's doing inside crossover, outside, touchdown. Touchdown. It's like, touchdown. My gut's in the way. I can't do a touchdown. Right? I didn't have the coordination backwards. I'm almost falling over, right? And so those things are important. So I get that. But that's, to me, that's just the building basic coordination and getting everything loosened up. Inside crossovers loosen up, right?
Yeah.
2 in, 2 out. That's all loosening up your groins and all that. That's why they do that. Even boxers do that when they jump in the ring. They're doing
Absolutely.
2 in, 2 out. So that's cool. But then the 3 lines are teaching you your fundamental jiu-jitsu shrimp, barbecue shrimp.
Right.
Roll, front roll, backwards roll. Those are really, really important, I think, to do all that. That's why I like those movements, because you got to know that, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, anything outside of that to where you're doing targeted muscle building like push-ups and all that, I don't really think that fits in very well.
Gotcha.
And I just don't think it's necessary, because there's no. I didn't come here to build my chest.
For you, right?
For
and
me.
that's what we're saying, because for
me.
you,
Yeah.
you're not going to do a body weight push-up. You're going to
No.
go freaking push 315 a few
Exactly.
times. Makes sense. Right. That doesn't really do shit for you. That's
Not
just
doing anything.
That's just
It's going to be
kinda
tired
like
for my
warm up.
workout tomorrow. I got to do chest tomorrow. I don't want to do this.
Okay.
Right? People think I'm lazy. They don't know that I just got done
You're
doing.
fucking working out all the
Yeah.
time. But see, now flip it, and I'll say, okay, so now if you are doing deadlifts, if you are doing heavy squats, right, and then you're in somebody's freaking closed guards, you pop up, you could legit grab them, lift them off the ground, turn them, or even if you got side mount and you're like, you know what, boom, I pop up to almost a squat position, you can physically bring somebody off the ground, turn them, spin them into an arm bar, because you're strong. Damn. But everybody's not super strong, right? So
Yeah, but see, now, honestly,
But you can
I have
deadlift
mixed
yourself.
feelings on that. I really do.
All right, let me hear it.
I'm not convinced that weightlifting necessarily translates to jiu-jitsu. The jury's out. I'm not 100% convinced.
Okay.
There are outliers, because look, I am strong, dude. I could deadlift over 400 pounds.
Right.
Could bench press 3 plates easily.
Right.
But I roll with Oleg, who does none of that. He feels just as strong as me. Just as strong as me.
He's just super strong, though.
But I've worked out with Oleg, and he's
Yeah.
not that strong. And when he in terms of putting weights on, he's
Okay.
Actually, he's not. He's strong.
Right. But
But
you're
he-
saying it's a different type of strength.
It's a different.
right?
It's actually like it's more practical strength where you're gonna actually utilize
Well,
it. It's
and-
more beneficial in real life.
And I was about to ask, right? So, and maybe it's nitpicky. When you say weightlifting, do you count Olympic lifting as weightlifting?
What do you mean, Olympic?
Like where you have explosive lifts, where you're like doing clean and jerk and shit like that? Like, do you consider that weightlifting? or is
Yeah, I
that
would say
Olympic
that's
lifting?
yeah. I mean, it could just be my experience, because I can't do some of those movements.
Well,
So
because-
if I was able to do that, then maybe it would
Yes,
help.
because see, so when I say
Yeah.
weightlifting, I'm counting all that shit, right?
Yeah.
And a deadlift, yes, it's that dead stop. You're powering through. Where a clean, though,
Yeah.
you're ripping it off the floor
Yeah.
quickly, and you're like flipping that shit upwards. And I'm saying that I think does translate, like, because it's explosive. It's not just
Oh, I think some of those moves would
right.
be better.
So I mean, so when I say weightlifting, I guess that's why I said, are we nitpicking? Like, I'm just talking anytime where you're picking a fucking weight up and putting it down, whether it be fast, slow, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like those explosive lifts, and oh my
You'd
God.
have to really train in powerlifting. Then I think that might help you. What?
CrossFit actually does a lot of explosive Olympic lifts.
Oh, they do really?
Yeah, dude, that's the fucking whole thing. Like, that's why that aspect of CrossFit, I think it does make you very athletic, and being able to go from the ground to pop up, get a grip, rip somebody up, and turn them real
It's like
quick.
wrestlers do that type of weight training regimen.
Yeah. Like,
So it
I
probably
think that
depends
shit
on
would
the
help.
weight. So if you had a specific weight training program geared to what you were trying to accomplish,
Right?
yeah, maybe it would help more. It would translate more.
Now, I don't know
But
if
I
can
think the
talk
average guy who
shit.
just goes in the gym and just does his
just
chest and
straight,
arms and
just straight bench press,
even if he's jacked,
curl,
I don't think it helps that much.
That one I agree. Okay, that's the slow, steady.
Yeah.
that's the slow, steady. But I
That's
guess
more for aesthetics, right?
right.
You're just trying
but
to
I
look,
think those Olympic lifts, those explosive movement lifts, I think that makes a difference.
and those
I
guys
think
don't look that jacked either. They just look lean
Correct.
and muscular, but they're not. You
Right.
wouldn't look at them and say, "Oh my god, that guy's jacked."
They're in damn good shape though. Like,
Yes,
and
very
this is
good.
why I was like, am I about to freaking stop talking shit about CrossFit? I kind of might have to a little bit, because you've got those guys, and they're in really great shape, and they're athletic as hell, and that might do it. Yeah. Something beeping. So with those guys, right? It's like if you can, I always say this: you can't burpee your way out of an arm bar.
Can't burpee right on.
Can't burpee your way out of an arm bar. But you can do enough CrossFit, I think, to get that explosive strength. And that, I think, could make a difference. Shit. How many of you guys out there do CrossFit? I gotta stop talking shit about y'all now.
I think, what's his name? Wasn't Dan doing a lot of CrossFit one time?
I think.
He was all into it.
Captain Dan.
I think he was doing a lot of CrossFit.
Yeah,
He
dude,
was
that's
a lot of
like
CrossFit.
Captain
He was all
America,
into it. That's
dude.
when it first started,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's when it was like really popular, was CrossFit. That was, what was it, like 5, 6, 7 years ago? A long
Something
time
like
ago.
it. Yeah, back when the CrossFit games were blowing
Yeah.
up and all kinds of stuff. And dude,
But actually, you know what? He's
those
another
guys are
one.
freaking jacked.
No, but here's another one. I'm going back to when he first started.
Okay.
I think I remember him being like really jacked, dude. I'm like, who is this big old Jack Surfer looking dude? He had like kind of long curly hair,
Right.
right? And now he's not that jacked. I mean, he looks lean and muscular, but not big. He was like swole before.
Shit.
I think so, man. I could be wrong, but I
So-
think he was really big. And then
So you
after
think he
doing
was
those,
like just like powerlifting type
he was
shit?
doing a lot of weightlifting, I think. Yeah, because after all these years of jiu-jitsu, now he looks like, just really, really good shape, more of like a athletic
Like a
swimmer's
swimmer.
build. Yeah.
Right.
Which I think that's a better physique in my opinion.
For jiu-jitsu, I think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But then again,
Your body
tell
just
that
kinda-
to Chris Roberson.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
But he does a different style of
yeah,
jiu-jitsu too.
right. He's got more of that heavy pressure and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah.
So I guess really you can make any body type work for jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah, that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. You can
that
make
is
any-
beauty, right?
any
Maybe
body
you're not
type
going
work.
to berimbolo. Maybe you're not going to
Yeah.
do certain shit. But you can find your game. You can find your game and you can zero in. You can hone in on that shit and make it your own, right? Like that's what it's the journey. It's the journey. So nobody's jiu-jitsu really is going to be the exact same path. You got to
I
find
agree.
what works for you.
That's why I think. Are we gonna say?
Well, no, I was going to say you got to find what works for you, but then I was also going to say, and you could still augment it by adding in some strength. Say what you're going to say, then I'm going to say what. Because
Well, when you said finding your journey, and I think it would be cool to have, like, one thing about our school, we have a multitude of black belts, all different body types.
facts.
And a lot of these guys teach, right? So we're not just getting one guy who happens to be, have this genetically gifted body for jiu-jitsu, and it makes him phenomenal. But maybe I can never be that because I'm not that. I don't have that body type, right?
Yeah,
you
I
got,
feel you, yeah.
big guys, little guys, tall, short, skinny. Right? It doesn't matter. We have that. And I think it's good to have a school where we have a variety of different body types
I
that you're
agree.
learning from, because even if you know the information, you have the information. Like, you know how to do, we always say berimbolo. Okay, let's say berimbolo. You're not going to teach a berimbolo, right?
'Cause I don't
It's just
like
not your
them.
thing. Yeah,
Right.
it's not something you're going to be doing. But you know how to do it.
Yeah.
You could teach it,
I
but
can
it's just
teach it.
not in the front of your mind, right?
Right, it's not.
Where you get the little guy like Shorty, who probably would love to teach it, right? So
true.
you got to have a variety.
You have people are teaching different games. Everybody's going to teach the game
They're
that
gonna
they're
teach-
most
yeah.
comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I was also about to add to this whole conversation, because one of the other things we didn't say out loud about the whole Rocky training and all that good shit. Yeah, it makes you stronger. Yeah, it makes you this, that, and the other thing. But one of the things that I think is super important, it's toughness.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of shit, that intense, always uncomfortable, never, you're not smiling because the shit ain't fun. That shit makes you tough. And I think toughness matters in jiu-jitsu. It's the gentle art, but really?
Tell that to Randy.
Yeah.
Dan Halen. Randy ain't no gentle art, man.
Yeah, it was not gentle.
That was not fun.
They came out, so
They came out swinging,
shout out
dude.
to Randy, shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
Halen.
Randy. Both of them, man.
And Henson too. He was that dude.
Oh yeah, Henson, he's part of that little
Everybody
crew.
showed up that Friday, and
Wanted
or not
to
Friday,
kill.
Wednesday. Wednesday?
Wednesday night.
Yeah, they all showed up Wednesday.
Like, I want to feed.
Yeah, not Henson. Thanks, Henson. Because see, Henson, he's cool. He's laid back.
Henson's. I like Rowan
Yeah,
Henson.
he's cool and laid
He'll
back,
bring
right?
it, but
he'll bring some fucking
here's the
hot
thing,
fire.
Henson will bring the smoke, but it's not like, oh, I must get this. It's, at all costs, I will.
Randy
It's
tried to
not
beat us up,
Randy,
dude.
it's like Master World, bro. It's like I'm like, oh my god, Randy, Randy. You know who you
what?
are.
I appreciate it
I
because
passed my old handle on to Randy. He's got my new handle.
oh yeah, microwave, right?
Yeah, microwave
Hell
Randy.
yeah, he'll cook you fast. Shit, they brought some intensity that day.
They did.
So I came in.
I ain't falling for that anymore,
because
dude.
I was teaching, right? I was like, hey man, we're gonna have a nice mellow class.
Yeah, I did
I had
something.
like 70s music playing and shit.
was chill, dude.
It was chill, and they were like, "The future is now, old man," and they like just started coming at us like
Randy's
bat
all
out of
nice.
hell.
I'm like, come on, Randy. I say, like, come on, Randy, warm up. Because the first roll, he's like, oh, yeah, I got you. You know, Randy has that nice face. He looks all kind. I'm like, all right, thanks, Randy.
Yeah,
he goes,
wasn't
oh,
nice.
yeah. Next thing you know, he's gripping my He's gripping my belt. You ain't going nowhere, old man.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my God, Randy.
Thank you for the intense rolls, guys. That was fun.
Then I have to go with Halen right after that. And it's
Yeah,
just
that was
like,
rough. It was just one after the other.
this is not fun.
Good Lord. But you know what?
They're tough, though.
But we're tough. Thank you.
But
Exactly.
we survive it, right?
Absolutely, man. Because
they're tough.
we've had our faces ground into the mat. We've had people headbutt us and elbow us and knee us by accident. And you just deal with that shit.
But you know what it is? I put this. I think it's the gi, though. Because when Halen's not in the gi, I've always said, you've heard me say, Halen is like my favorite roll of everybody. I love rolling with Halen. Not in the gi, though.
Well,
Something changes, dude. There's a little switch that goes off. When they put that gi on, they're like, I will kill you. I will grip you.
Because you I think you grind more.
You gotta,
with the
it's
gi-
like a
with the
slower.
gi.
When it's no gi, we're just like, we're laughing, we're slapping hands. All right, we're just
Right. Yeah, because
But in the gi, it's
slick.
different.
It's slick and fast
It's
with no
fast,
gi, right?
yeah. And I
So
walk
you-
away, so that was fun, dude. We're rolling around.
Right.
But actually, come think of it though, Randy, even no gi, he's the same way. So I got your number, Randy.
So Randy's just mean.
Randy just mean.
But you know what?
He's a
He's
new
going
Randy.
to say that's my fault, though.
Yeah, it probably is though.
Yeah, I'm not really mean. I'm a nice guy. I'm nice. That's my new handle. My new jiu-jitsu from now on is going to be Nice Guy Harold. That's my new shit. We'll see.
Friendly guy, Harold.
See how? Yeah, I know. Let's see how long that lasts. Friendly Harold. But be tough, and that toughness also comes from making yourself uncomfortable, doing shit that maybe doesn't make you smile all day, right? You know what makes you smile? Having a beer, eating some pizza, sitting around chilling. That humans naturally like comfort. You love to be comfortable, but making yourself uncomfortable by going out and maybe walking a few miles or jog, God forbid, or run. Ugh.
Yeah, and by design, I mean, think if all rolls were easy, then it would just be normal, right? The reason that roll is good, it's fun when it's because that baseline is how it was with the gi on.
Right.
Like, that's the baseline. It's going to be a hard, tough, ugly roll, right?
Hell yeah.
So anything outside of that, it's like, oh, it's kind of cool.
Right. So
not that bad.
make yourself miserable so much that when you get a good roll, you're like, I like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it was good.
It was gentle, even though somebody
tell you,
from the
man-
outside looking in is like, oh my God, they're trying to kill each other. But it's not that bad.
I still say this, man. The gi is hard on your body.
Yes.
I still live by that, man, because my body was sore the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so
My
it's
muscles
always
were
going to
sore.
tear
What-
your
see-
fingers to shreds. It's gonna-
Not your frames. Your frames don't get sore, but your muscles just get sore. Your muscles hold up your frame, right? You can't say, "Oh, use your muscles." Don't use your
Right.
muscles. Use your frames. Well, what moves a skeleton? Muscle moves a skeleton. You
for
have
sure.
to use your muscle to put a frame in, right? So either way, it's hard on it. And what's happening is you're pulling, they're pulling. It's such a
Right.
constant tug of war, and your neck gets sore, your back gets sore. At least for me, maybe.
Well,
maybe
and you know what? The
I'm
Gracie,
older now.
the
Maybe I'm
Gracie
not as
kids,
conditioned as well because I don't do as
they
much.
actually they made that one thing, and I know I've mentioned this before. It was the whole when I go, you chill. When you
Oh, yeah,
chill,
yeah,
I
yeah,
go.
I like that, yeah.
That way, you're not both
Yeah,
pulling or
yeah,
pushing at the
yeah.
same time. You kind of, or was it Hickson's thing? You flow with the go.
Yeah, he's no flowing, dude. It was 5 minutes of Halen trying to sweep me, trying to triangle me, trying to
He was
break
like,
something.
did you owe him money or some shit or what?
I don't know. I guess
Oh man, you need to
yeah,
pay
just
that man
something
his
mean,
money.
man.
Shit. But look, get tougher, get in a little bit better shape, freaking do things that make you uncomfortable so that it's not a surprise when you're in there. When that adversity kicks in, when somebody's like grinding you in the face, you're not crying like a little baby. You're not like, you're going too rough. I hate that. And that's not to say that people aren't sometimes being complete assholes and they're just they're doing too much. But you know what? It's nice to be able to deal with that overly rough person and not break down crying. all the
I wouldn't even say they're rough though. They were
maybe that's
legit,
how they
dude.
roll.
Yeah, they just had good control, good grips, good control, good intensity. It was solid, dude. That's how it really it's supposed to be.
It's like somebody. I mean, I know I've wrist locked somebody in the past, and I put them on fast, but I don't try to break it or anything like that. But it'll tweak, right? It'll be a little tweak. And, you know, I remember upper belts complaining, and they're like, oh, my God, why do you wrist lock so hard? And I'm like, really? I was like, wrist lock is the first thing you're allowed to do from blue belt forward, right? Like, don't cry about that shit. It's like, just be a little bit tougher. I'm not saying you got to get your arm snapped off and then you got to just fight with one arm like Jacare at one time. I'm not saying anything like that. but don't fucking whine so much. Like, be a little tougher. Be
But
a little bit
jiu-jitsu,
tougher.
it did change. Like, I imagine if every roll was that though.
Oh, that would suck.
See, that would be hard, man. That would be hard on the body.
Agreed.
I couldn't imagine 6 rolls of like Randy and Halen. Like, oh my god,
That
this sucks,
used to
dude.
be the case, right?
That's how we all rolled though back in the day.
And it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's not like that anymore because it has opened it up to more people, right?
Yeah.
Good or bad.
Maybe just us. They just have it out for us. Just trying to get.
What the hell did I do to you? Man? What did I do to you?
Oh,
why are you trying to beat me up,
the common
man?
denominator is you and me.
I'm just saying, look, yes, jiu-jitsu's changed, right? If you talk to the old heads, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, back in my day," right? They're gonna be like that, and they're like, "We just choked you until you passed out." No, I get it. It doesn't have to be like that, right? And I think we get more talented people because it's not like that. You get people who they're still tough, but they aren't like mean tough. And I think those not so mean people have actually brought a lot of new innovation to jiu-jitsu. I think they've shown you that, oh no, look, you can be a little bit, you can have a lighter touch and get this and get that. Or hey man, I don't have to bully you to get this. Watch how I fall back into this heel hook. It's slick.
You're describing like Giuseppe. He rows really well.
He's super smooth.
He's super smooth, and
he's tough.
He's really tough, bro. I know. That's why. But he'll let you work.
Correct.
And sometimes you'll find something that maybe you didn't see, or you can experiment. Like,
right.
I'm never afraid to experiment. Rolling with Giuseppe.
He's safe to fight.
He's very safe. Yeah.
But if he wanted to fuck you up, he could.
Oh yeah, something he does. He cranks it up. He starts laughing.
Oh man, I hate that.
Oh yeah, it's terrible, dude.
I hate that. He's like nice Trevor.
That's it is exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
If Trevor were really, really nice, that's Giuseppe. Trevor is nice. No, he's nice. Trevor's a nice dude, man. But you know what I mean.
Not when he starts fighting.
He's like a kinder, gentler version of Trevor.
Yes. Yes. So it's like grizzly bear. I was about to say panda bear. He's not a panda bear.
He's a domesticated grizzly bear.
Oh my God. He's a circus
Trevor's
bear.
A wild fucking grizzly bear. Giuseppe's domesticated grizzly bear. He's still got that wild in him. Every now and then he'll let that wild come out, right? But
hell yeah. If you fuck with his honey. All right. Okay. Look, the whole point of all this shit, right, is if you want to be better at jiu-jitsu, sure, do more jiu-jitsu. No ifs, ands, or buts, right?
100%.
But if you want to even be better than that, add some other things.
Add something.
Right? Toughen up. Like, don't be afraid to do some shit that makes you uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man, because we're all trying to get better. Look, I'm doing some shit that's making me uncomfortable. I'm freaking trying to clean up the diet. I'm trying to work out more. I'm trying to do all that.
Yeah, it's good.
And it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Or it's going to suck. I don't know. But whatever. I made a choice. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something that's tough to me. You know what I mean? And I do it because I love jiu-jitsu, and I do it because it's important to me. And if it's important, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. And the excuse is, hey, it's just fucking easier to be lazy.
That's true. The path of least resistance.
The path of least resistance. But I'm going to take the path of most resistance. That's bullshit too. Because, look, I got other shit to do, man.
Take the path of leaving a comment.
Take the path of leaving a comment.
Take the path of sharing.
Liking and sharing. Hell yeah.
Take the path of liking.
And you should do that because it's important to you.
Well, sometimes, look, if I'm watching YouTube.
Right.
And I'm scrolling, sometimes you don't feel like liking, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to like that
Hell
video. 'Cause
yeah.
I like when people like mine. I'm going to like it because it helps this channel.
I agree.
And it's just cool, and I want to see more of his content. So I'll hit a like, boom. And, sometimes a new video comes up, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I wouldn't have seen that video if I didn't get the like.
What do you do if you don't like it?
I will do nothing if I don't like it.
Same
very
here.
rarely would I put a dislike. It would have to be something egregious.
They got to say some crazy
something-
shit for me to hit a dislike.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually ever hit a dislike.
I think I did on one, but it was pretty bad. I don't remember what it was. It's something that was pretty egregious, though. It was bad.
They probably talked about fucking Porsches or something.
Yeah, probably.
They're like, Porsches suck. Oh, dislike.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Anywho, come on, people. Like, share, subscribe. Keep the comments going. Dolores, I hope you heard us. I hope you could hear us this time. If not, I don't know, man. You might need to. You probably use one of them old iPhones. You need to get an Android. You need to, get like us. Get those Androids. Now that's gonna
like the
get a
cool
bunch of people were like dislike.
Dislike, exactly. Any Gen Z or
What? You don't have an iPhone?
Exactly.
What the hell? All right. Anywho, everybody, thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. We don't really know that was the perfect answer, but it was our answer. So
It was our opinion, right?
hell damn yeah. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Check you next week. Us.
Us. So, boom, I'm recording. Make sure you look at your camera. All right, so here we go. Hey, Rod, I got a question for you, man.
What's up?
How do we get better at jiu-jitsu?
Just do more jiu-jitsu.
I mean, like, that's it?
Just do more jiu-jitsu.
Nothing else, Rod?
Just do more jiu-jitsu.
Fine. On this episode of Open Mat Chronicles, we're just doing more jiu-jitsu.